Welcome friends, welcome to freetaxeducation.com. Today we will start with the session 2 inputs, input services and capital goods in context of Cenvat credit rules. So in this session we will learn what is input services and capital goods in Cenvat credit rules. So here comes first question, what do you mean by inputs? The term input in Cenvat credit can be defined as any goods used in factory for manufacturing of excisable goods except sent for job work is known as inputs. Second one, raw material used in the excisable goods are known as input. Goods used while providing a taxable service are known as inputs. Any goods used along with the final product as an accessory complementary and its value added in the final excisable product, then it is known as an input. Goods used in relation to manufacture of the excisable products. Goods used for generation of electricity for captive consumption are known as the inputs. So these inputs means these provide Cenvat credit. That means while purchasing these inputs, we pay some taxes or duties on the purchasing of these goods. So this duty is known as a Cenvat credit, which can be offset against the liability of a manufacturer or trader. So these are the inputs, these are the solid goods. So what is not input? This term is exactly opposite with the input. If you carefully read the goods which are not used for the manufacturing of excisable goods, the goods not used in relation to manufacturing of goods, light diesel oil, high speed diesel oil, petrol, the goods used for building and civil structure, base foundation of capital goods, that means the goods used for or inputs used for the base foundation of capital goods, vehicles, capital goods used for personal or goods used for personal consumption or society. If the duty is not paid on said inputs, then not treated as an input. If the goods sent on job work does not return within the 180 days, then not treated as an input. If you carefully read this, most of the types are exactly opposite to the input. So if you are not using these inputs in relation to goods in relation to manufacturing, or specifically if the goods are in nature of capital goods or used for building or civil structure, then these are not treated as the inputs. Then we will check out input services. What do you mean by input services? Input services can be defined as services used for manufacturing of excisable goods within the factory are known as input services. Services used to provide output service. Services provide up to the place of removal, and services used in relation to manufacturing of excisable goods are known as input services. That means we can get the taxes, whatever taxes paid on these services taxes paid on services, we can take offset of these taxes while payment of our liability. Following are some of the examples of input services. It is accounting, legal expenses, sales promotion, quality control, auditing, security services, human resource, storage up to the place of removal, output transportation up to the place of removal, training, purchase of inputs, finance, etc. So these are the services. Whatever the services we used and taxes we paid, the taxes can be offsetted against the liability. So like inputs here, Also, that what kind of services are not treated as a input services. Services which are not used for manufacturing of excisable service or excisable goods. Services which are not used providing taxable services or exempted services. Services which are used for manufacturing of non-dutiable goods or exempted goods. Services used for personal purpose, rent a cab, outdoor catering services, architect services, insurance services, construction services are not treated as a input services. So I hope you understand the difference between input services. Thanks for visiting freetaxedu.com. That's it from today's session. That's it. Okay, bye.